me and however you may be everything except the Kentucky Derby, and that's mostly been due to time restraints. It's a bad time of the year for me, and fights are the best. There's nothing better than going to a big fight in Vegas.
Well, it's just a spectacle and an event.
The energy.
And it's something you really feel like you're a part of history.
And to be honest with you, it's special. They don't give out a lot of great seats to fights.
Yeah.
Like it's one night, 1 hour. I was at the Fan Man fight. I was at Holyfield Tyson. I've been at Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler Hearns.
And it's something, a fight is something you can't take a break from. Like, it's not like, you know, you're in the second quarter, like, you know what, I'm going to run to the bathroom for a few minutes. Like, you can't miss 1 second of it.
I saw Roy Jones early in Vegas, like his first 10 fights. I saw Tyson early in Vegas. I love fights. I can get my wife to go to a fight. I can't beg my wife to go to a baseball game. She likes the NBA and she likes fights because they're kind of events. She can wear a nice outfit.
Well, and it's just very convenient, you know.
Oh, my.
Get good seats, very intimate experience.
I am going to be a tuxedo and a martini walking in.
You should have like a cane and a top hat. Why stop there?
I look like Roger Stone, one of Trump's guys. Yeah, maybe not. All right, so I got to tell you something. The New England Brady thing, a lot of people are saying this. I know what a lot of you think as the public. You think we're all just making crap up. You think he's going to go back to New England, and I do think that's about 70%. But I'm going to tell you that people in this business who are connected very close to Tom think he's gone. They think he's gone. Now, I have one great source on this who is close to Tom. Tom, it's not a money issue. He's scared he's going to get trapped. As we've talked about, Tom, the New England Patriots have to pay Tom in mid-March. That way, it's less of a cap hit. So New England's probably going to make him an offer, whatever they make him, March 16th, 17th, 18th. Tom's concern is, I don't know what you're going to do. Do you have the free agents by then? What are you going to do in the draft? Because Tom knows New England doesn't spend money. They like to find value in everybody, even wide receivers. So today a mock draft came out from Mel Kiper. And it's fascinating because it's Tom Brady's worst nightmare. So Mel Kiper has the Patriots' first pick in the first round, number 23. A receiver? No. A tight end? No. Giving Tom help? No. Jacob Eason, quarterback at Washington. And by the way, that's exactly what they do. So Brady signs and gets his money, and they draft his replacement. And then the Patriots don't have a second-round pick. So by the time they draft at the end of the third round, the 8 to 10 best receivers are gone, and the best tight end's gone. And Bill doesn't spend money on free agent wide receivers or tight ends. This is Brady's fear. Mel Kiper's mock draft is what New England's going to do. So Tom, this is why I think Tom cannot worry about money. He just has to get over the money. This is the least important facet for this. And I know it's respect, blah, blah, blah. Your net worth's a fortune. What Tom needs is weapons. That's why I think I've done my Brady pie. I do think the Tennessee Titans are the best fit. It gives Tom two things he doesn't currently have. Good weapons, star running back, and it gives him fun. Him and Vrabel are boys. And I do think Tom at this point, as his wife said in the documentary, he wants to be respected. Vrabel respects him. He'll be treated like a god in Nashville. And Nashville's a fun city. So I know the fans. I ran into fans a couple weeks ago. I was skiing. And I ran into 4 guys in a bar, great guys from New Hampshire and Boston. They were Patriot guys. And they're like, you guys in the media, That's how they talk in New Hampshire. You guys in the media, he's signing with the Patriots. And I'm like, I think he is, but don't go crazy on this. Jeff Darlington's an excellent NFL reporter. Darlington is very well connected in the Tom Brady circles. I've known Jeff for a long time. He's a real pro. He thinks it's less than 50-50. Like, Tom is trapped on it. Tom, once you're Tom Brady or LeBron James, here's the one thing you won't stand for: being trapped. You're not going to tell LeBron, LeBron's life's not perfect. He may not get the perfect coach or the perfect bench or the perfect teammates. He's not going to feel trapped or he's going to bolt. That's why he signed one-year contracts. Tom worked really hard to become a free agent. Okay, he worked really hard to do this. Have leverage, have free agency. He's going to listen to offers. So you're kidding yourself if you think he's not going to listen to offers. And this is the prime issue. Mel Kiper's mock draft is Brady's fear, is that they don't have a second pick. And the first one, they're just going to pick my replacement. And by the time the Patriots have a third pick, the 8 to 10 best receivers are gone and the best tight end's gone. And we know you don't spend money. Now, I think it's all solvable. I think this is all totally solvable with one move. I think the Patriots should go out and get Stephon Diggs. I think Tom Brady should say, you signed Stephon Diggs, Minnesota, I'm in. I won't even ask for the most money. Stephon Diggs is unhappy in Minnesota. Minnesota would love to have a second pick. They need to get a quarterback to replace Kirk Cousins in 1 year. They also have 2 good tight ends, a star running back, Adam Thielen. They have a very good defensive roster. They draft well. Minnesota, hey, New England, we'll give you our first-round pick. You give us Stephon Diggs. And I think it would solve everything. Tom would have a deep threat. Now, Edelman could be your 2. Mohamed Sanu could be your 3. N'Keal Harry could be your 4. That's a pretty good receiving core. That solves a lot of issues. Stephon Diggs, your 1. Edelman's a great 2 to 3. Mohamed Sanu and N'Keal Harry, the young kid, gets a little better. That's 4 guys you can trust. Philip Dorsett still can make an occasional play. They had the other, I forget, Jacoby Myers, the other, he's your 5th receiver, your 5th out. They got enough running backs. That's not the issue. So I think you could solve it all if Tom just said, you promised me Stephon Diggs, Minnesota. Minnesota's looking to move off him for the right pick. They are. He's unhappy there. Look at his Instagram. Adam Thielen of the Vikings every day is like, I love America. Stephon Diggs is, pay me some money. Give me respect. Now, he's expensive. He's $14 million, but he's a great player, and they are a loaded roster, and they're going to have to move him anyway, and I think now is the time. You got a team that needs it. So I think the Brady stuff is real. I think he's considering other options. I think Jeff Darlington knows. I think it's real stuff, and I think you could solve all of it. But we know this organization does not have a history of spending $14 million on wide receivers. They just don't. All right. So I saw this. I had to... I'm going to talk about this for a second. It's just, listen, I've always been able to separate art from artist. My friends, some are liberals, some are Trump fans. I can separate people from politics. Some people can, some people can't. I think most people can. I have friends who like Trump. I have friends who hate Trump. I can separate people from their politics. I can separate art from artists. There are athletes who I don't like, but I will pay for a Floyd Mayweather fight, and I don't respect his history and misogyny and some domestic violence situations with women. But if he's fighting Conor McGregor, I'll pay for it, and I don't have to like people. But my bigger problem with Floyd is increasingly, because his career is mostly over, he said yesterday, he goes, nothing against LeBron James, who just got voted male athlete of the decade. He goes, but I'm really the male athlete of the decade. And Mayweather is not even in consideration, considering the last half of the last decade, he never fought a boxer. It was Conor McGregor. So, yeah, Manny Pacquiao was old. Conor McGregor, that's the last half decade for Floyd Mayweather. But it got me thinking, if I had to vote for male athlete of the decade, who would my choices be? And it is remarkable how good the options are. So LeBron James, Tom Brady's got 3 Super Bowls and 2 MVPs. So LeBron's got to be, in my opinion, LeBron would win my athlete of the decade. LeBron James has had, 8 finals appearances. Tom Brady, again, if a little lean to the most parity-driven sport of my life, and he has created a 2-time dynasty. Novak Djokovic in tennis has 16 Grand Slams. That's with Roger Federer as an opponent. That's with Rafi Nadal as an opponent. The Joker's the best tennis player I've ever seen when he's playing his best. He's been a little less consistent than Federer. Michael Phelps has 9 gold medals. That's actually, Mayweather only had 10 fights in a decade. Phelps had 9 gold medals. And then I would say Usain Bolt had 6 gold medals. The world's fastest man is, let's be honest, probably the coolest thing you can ever be called as a dude. I mean, seriously. There's my friend Bob. He's the world's fastest man. Not a lot of toppers on that. But Mayweather doesn't only not make the top 5. I wouldn't even consider him for the next 5. Then I'd go Rafa Nadal, who is, again, 13 Grand Slams in the last decade. Then I'd go to Steph Curry. He changed the way we play basketball, fundamentally, high school, college to pro, multiple titles, unanimous MVPs. We've never had that before. Then I'd go Messi, who was 5-time Global Soccer Player of the Year, followed by Ronaldo, who was 4-time Global Soccer Player of the Year. And then I would have to give Mike Trout, who I think 7 times in the last decade, I think it's 7 times, was first or second in the MVP voting. I'd put him 10 because he's had no playoff success. I'm at 10. I would still not even consider Floyd Mayweather. In fact, if it was just athlete of the decade, I would put Conor McGregor and Serena both above him. Conor McGregor carried an entire sport. The UFC does not sell for $4 billion without Conor McGregor. It sells for about $1 billion. Conor McGregor changed viewing habits, forced people to watch UFC. People watch boxing forever with or without Floyd Mayweather. And Serena, outside of Djokovic, I don't think there's anybody in the last 10 years in tennis that's even been close to dominating her sport.
I would put Simone Biles above him also if we're just doing athlete of the decade.
Mayweather's not even close. He's basically, he cherry picks his opposition. He's kind of a money-pursuing, inactive, ... undefeated boxer.
I mean, there's no arguing his record and his influence on the sport.
His historic legacy is intact.
But for the decade,
it's not even close.
Now.
His last half of the last decade, he fought old Manny Pacquiao and a UFC guy. He didn't fight enough.
You
He's
have to
inactive.
have the whole perspective of the.
Yeah, you got to actually show up to work to get Employee of the Year. You got to kind of show up occasionally to work. Coming up next, Rob Parker on a variety of topics. I'm not saying the Astros cheating is good, but I think we have recency bias, and we're all going, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs here. It's like steroids was way worse. Steroids was way worse, and it lasted 15 years. This is going to be over by the end of this year. This may be over, this stuff, by the All-Star break. That's coming up. Guys, it is never a good look when you don't tuck your shirt in. I'm not a fan of tucking shirts in, but when you don't tuck it in, you don't want it to be kind of sloppy and long and bulky. It looks like crap. You want to be refined but casual, not sloppy. A casual shirt that is too long or too short, it's just a bad look. GQ calls Untuck It perfection. They're a go-to. Casual dressy, works both ways. Untuck It offers 50 fit combinations. Short, tall, slim, large. Doesn't matter. Perfect fitting shirt, they have it. Check it out, untuckit.com. They have new spring arrivals now. And if you use the promo code HERD, H-E-R-D, get 20% off your entire first purchase. They also have 80 retail locations across America. So stop hiding your shirt with your pants and your pants with your shirt. Untuckit.com, your solution to perfecting casual. Promo code is HERD, H-E-R-D, for 20% savings on your first purchase at Untuckit.